Morning, welcome back. We tell you all the time about scams, callers posing as companies, people in need, or even your own family members asking for money. Well, just last week, we told you about people calling Consumers Energy customers asking for money, or the grandparents scammed out of thousands of dollars due to a bogus call from someone posing as a grandchild in jail. It is National Consumer Protection Week, and this morning on Daybreak, we're taking a closer look at what you can do to protect yourself and your bank account. So we're joined by Scott Stenstrom, the Vice President of Marketing at Fifth Third Bank. So you deal with security. So this is a big deal, and it's becoming a bigger deal. We're showing that more and more people are concerned about their online security, their identity security.
Absolutely.
This is something that you're dealing with and seeing all the time, isn't it?
Right. And you know, and it's the biggest things are just what you talked about is scams. As people are, in fact, one of the most popular ones is somebody calling pretending to be a member of the government or the IRS. So, and a lot of times that gets our antenna up a little bit more, and people don't verify information, and unfortunately, it leads to additional fraud.
Do you, as the bank, ask that you guys are notified when something like that happens, or if somebody gets into their account? How do you guys, as a bank, deal with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best first step is to come back to the bank, and if you feel like your information's been exposed, certainly share that information with us. There's things that we can do to protect your information.
Okay.
Change out cards, close accounts, reopen accounts, things like that, just to be safe.
How safe is our information within the banking system?
I think the information's very safe, but there's some things that we do that make it unsafe.
Okay.
You know, like a couple of instances, very simple things that we can do is effective passwords. A lot of people will use information that's readily available, like Facebook profiles on social image and things like that. One of the things that you can do is just make them a little bit more complex. Some people like to use improper grammar. Some people like to use misspelled words. Personally, my favorite is a phrase.
Okay.
Like Wood TV is my favorite station. So what you do is you basically create a password out of the first letter in each word.
Okay.
But always do something that you can remember. So it's not hard to do, but people don't go that extra step, creating a little less vulnerability.
To figure that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good advice too, because so many passwords too for so many different things that really control our lives these days. It's hard to remember all of them. What else do we need to know to keep ourselves safe?
You know, I think the other thing is with the, you know, we all have our devices, whether it's a phone or a tablet or whatever. And when we're on those, just be aware of where you're at. You know, definitely password protect your device, because a lot of times they don't make them back into our pockets or the purses, and they're left. We certainly don't want to leave an open door for somebody that way. The other thing is just make sure that you're aware of what networks you're on. Public Wi-Fi, those are not necessarily secure. So if you're doing some shopping, you know, while you're having your coffee, make sure that you're doing your shopping while you're out, but do your purchasing when you're back on a secure network, because it's always better to be there. Good
advice. So what are some things we can do right now? I know one of the concerns that's been huge is Anthem insurance and how huge that can be. What are some things we can do right now to protect our accounts?
Again, some very simple things that you can do. Other than the effective passwords, watch for phishing. Phishing emails and texts. That's still very popular, where you'll get an email from a company or an organization pretending to be a legitimate organization. Scrutinize them a little bit more. They tend to have vague information where they might not necessarily have your personal name on the information, but just a dear customer. It might be improper grammar or misspelled words. So just kind of watch and pay attention to it.
All right. Thank you so much for this great advice. You know, even if it's always good to have another reminder. Keep an eye on things. Thank you. Well, still